Hi, and thank you so much for joining me today. And today's video is for day 16 of Scraptember 2022. And today's prompt is to use a pattern paper background. As soon as I saw this, I thought straight away of my dwindling collection of 49 and Market Spectrum Sherbet Foundations papers, because all the work's done for you. I shy away from using pattern papers a lot, but these are just really nice, as they're called, foundation papers. So I'm scrapping a photo of my daughter feeding some chickens at the Ulster Folk Transport Museum in Northern Ireland. This is a series of photos I've been working on. I'm nearly there now. Still a few more to go though. So I've trimmed, it was a 6x4 photo, but I've trimmed all the excess white space off, or negative space off the photo, so that I'm just left with Amelia feeding the chickens. So I've backed that onto white cardstock and distressed the edges, and now I'm using one of the remnants from the Spectrum Sherbet collection, trimming that down to use as a photo mat and just tearing the bottom to add some texture. So once that's done, I shall start building my elements around the edges. So the photo is going to be mounted up onto foam pads. Because it's such a small photo, I want to give it as much opportunity as possible to shine on this layout. So by adding a bit of height, that sort of brings it to the fore, so to speak. So distressing the edges of this foundation paper where I've trimmed them off. I don't like the straight edges where you've got the more rippled effect of the remnant, and then that will go down, and that's where it's going to go, to the left hand side of this circle. So now I'm just trying little bits and pieces to create a small mat. I want to keep everything fairly close to the photo, again just to keep the focus on the photo and not move your eye away and around the rest of the page. And most of these pieces that I'm starting with are from Spectrum Sherbet. These are the cut-off strips at the bottom of the 12x12 papers, and that's just a cut-off from a 6x8 that I've used to mat a photo in the past. The little circle at the bottom left-hand corner is from an Ellie Studio monthly kit, which I've been really enjoying. That's just one of the die-cut elements from there, and the lace is the laser cut lace from the Spectrum Sherbet. So just slowly building things. That Love This title is going to be my title, and that's one from Hey Little Magpie, one of our exclusive title pieces. So going through and finding bits that I might want to add. I'm desperately searching for a tag to put my date on, but pulling out other bits as I find them. So that round circle just says love you. And then I find one of these arrow circles. I love these. I'll be sad when they're all used up. You'll have seen me using them plenty of times on my layouts. I think about that notebook piece, but because I've already got the notebook page underneath, I leave that one this time. Use it next time. This super sweet hangs around for quite a while, but doesn't end up making it on the layout. I've got too many other title pieces to need to use that. It didn't really add anything at the end, so I took that off. There we go, found a tab, so I'm happy now. Normally it goes at the top of the page, but today I decided that it would be better once I can get hold of it on the left hand side there. So that's where it goes. So I'm going to start gluing things down now. As always, I've got to the stage where I'm worried things are going to start toppling if I don't stick them down. So I should just work my way around doing that. and as you see, just get rid of that super sweet title because I've decided I don't need it. So now the bulk of the embellishing's done, I'm just going through these few bits and pieces that I pulled out from my deep stash, just to see if anything can be added. And I like this label tag there, and decide that probably I should glue everything down, so that's what I'll now do, and it'll be much easier to embellish everything. So using my T-ruler just to make sure that it's straight, and then going in with my trusty Nuvo adhesive, just distressing the edge of this piece of paper because there's so much distress on there. I think it looks better with just a tiny bit of distressing there. So as I say, wet glue and get it stuck down, and then I can carry on. And it's funny watching myself doing this and doing these voiceovers, I've realised that butterfly isn't actually stuck down. So when I finish this, I shall go and stick that down, but it is going to stay where it is in position there. So going through the other bits and pieces that I pulled out, there was a puffy heart sticker that I put there from an old, I think it was a Paige Evans collection. And then I'll add another one down the bottom there. The title has now been stuck down on top, that Love This title. And now coming in with the foam tape to add that arrow. Again, because of all the texture and layers underneath, it just needed a bit of foam to make it stand above the photo. So just about to pop that on. I think I'm going to tuck it under first, but then realise it's better over the top. And because that title has got some yellow in the V, I start introducing a few other subtle colours. So this puffy sticker is from a very old sticker sheet, and that gets tucked under, but the little bit of green is poking out. And then I shall go in with these My Mind's Eye, The Sweetest Thing stickers, and choose a word from that. And I choose just the word sweet, and that's just bringing that yellow into the rest of the layout a little bit more, and it works perfectly because one of the chickens is like a golden colour. Then these old Chamel enamel dots, I'm picking out again the yellowy gold ones, a star, a heart, and at first I added an enamel dot above the Love This title, but I'm not happy with that, so I switched that out for one of the, it's almost like a starburst shape. This is a very old Heidi Swap label with a bit of gold on it, so that just gets layered at the top there again. And here's where I add that enamel dot, but I'm just not happy. It's just floating and doesn't quite look right. So as quickly as it goes on the layout, it comes back off again. And here I am coming in with one of these starburst pieces now. So I'm going to come in and add the date now before I forget. I think once I've stuck the tab down, it's so easy to go on to other things and just forget that. So quickly adding that just with black ink and my usual roller date stamp. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of journaling at the bottom here. There's not a lot that needs to be said, but I just want to say where she is because it's easy to forget when you look back at photos. So just putting Feeding the Chickens at Ulster Folk Transport Museum, you were absolutely in your element. When I'd added the first line, I felt that it just looked a little bit too stark, so I went in with the second line. So now adding some Nuvo drops just in the yellow, and then I'll go in with the bubblegum pink. Just a few bits and pieces. And once these are down, I'm going to go through some of my sequin stash and add some glitz and glam to the layout. And that takes a little while because I go through a few different packets, but it really adds that final touch to the layout. So going in with these tiny ones to start with, and then you'll see I'll go through a couple of other packs as well. And that's the end of the video, so thank you so much for joining me. Do wait till the end if you want to see some close-ups of the layout and a final overview of it, and check the description box down below for everybody who's joining in on this hop. It's great fun, and it's lovely to see everybody's different interpretations on the prompts that we get each day. It's a playlist, so once you start watching it, you can just go back to it each time and it'll run through the videos, and new ones are being added daily as we get the new prompts. And I hope that you'll join me again tomorrow for the next prompt. If you like what you see, I'd love it if you would take the time to give me a like or a comment. It's great to hear from you. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'd be eternally grateful. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.